Hello and welcome to this special program marking the 24th anniversary of the ratification of the National Action Charter. I'm Sara Buhiji, and today we are joining the Bahraini community and proudly celebrating our national steady integrated development that has emanated from the leading National Action Charter, which came as part of His Majesty King Hamad bin Isa Al Khalifa's ambitious reform project that reflected the wise royal vision for the democratization and effective parliamentary process in the kingdom. The National Action Charter, which was approved by 98.4% of the people of Bahrain, is a major turning point in the modern history of Bahrain and a great step towards modernization and development that covered human, political, religious, and social aspects. Stay tuned. We will be back right after this.
The National Action Charter marked the beginning of the prosperous era of His Majesty the King and the fundamental turning point in the Kingdom of Bahrain's march towards reform, modernization and development that affected various political, economic and social fields. This charter constituted a comprehensive legislative development in the kingdom and established the principles of a modern civil state, emphasizing the principle of separation between the executive, legislative and judicial authorities with cooperation among them, as it reinforced the concept of the state of law and institutions through which the kingdom developed national action. Under this charter, parliamentary life was established through the Shura and Representatives Councils, which gave citizens the opportunity to actively participate in decision-making and legislation in a direct democratic manner. Since then, legislative work in the Kingdom of Bahrain witnessed remarkable development. The charter played an important role in modernizing many national laws and legislation to keep pace with local and international changes. The Constitutional Court was established to ensure the constitutionality of laws, reflecting the kingdom's commitment to enhancing the quality of legislation and the independence of the judiciary, in addition to the establishment of many national institutions that advanced development and progress. The National Action Charter was not just a document, but a roadmap towards a prosperous and stable future. And today, the Kingdom of Bahrain is reaping the benefits of this comprehensive democratic project, making sustainable development achievements in various fields and establishing its position as a model in building a state of law and institutions. Thanks to the vision of His Majesty the King, with the support of His Royal Highness the Crown Prince and Prime Minister, for legislative work to continue developing rapidly based on the principles of the National Action Charter and for the aspirations of citizens towards a brighter future.
Welcome back. After the ratification of the National Action Charter, the National Assembly was formed consisting of two chambers, the Shura Council and the Council of Representatives, which perform their roles with constant coordination and effective collaboration. With its 40 appointed members, the Shura Council performs a pivotal role in terms of maintaining the successful national democratic environment and advanced political action in the kingdom. To know more about that, we are pleased to be joined here in the studio by the member of Shura Council, Hala Ramzi. Faiz, thank you very much for being with us today.
Thank you for having me on your show.
When it comes to the Action Charter, there is a lot to talk about, but mainly to start off the process of actually drafting the National Action Charter. How did it pave the way for today's political prosperity?
First of all, let me start by congratulating the leadership of Bahrain and the people of Bahrain on this special occasion, the anniversary of the National Action Charter. It's something really important. I can say that it's a turning point in Bahrain's political history. The National Action Charter started when His Majesty King Hamad bin Isa Al Khalifa issued decree number 36 in November 2000, whereby he formed a committee to draft the National Action Charter, which is a covenant document that really stipulates or gives the scenario how the political reform and the democratic reform that His Majesty's vision wanted to be put on paper for people to know about it. The committee was formed of 44 from the finest men and women in Bahrain, representing the various segments, the various components of Bahrain society. And they worked on, with their knowledge, their expertise and experience, and drafted the National Action Charter, laying the main principles and pillars by which the democratic reform is going to take place. This committee consisted of 6 females, very knowledgeable, very experienced, and they were the first, if you want, to show the empowerment of women and how women really have their input in this National Action Charter. The National Action Charter really is the basis that by which the lots of changes we've seen during the years, and where it has stipulated that unity, fairness, human rights, everything is to be observed during this important time of the democratic reform.
Yes, absolutely. When we look at the inspiration behind the National Action Charter, it gives inspiration as well. Every year, Bahrain proudly celebrates the democratic achievements and the steady integrated developments that have emanated from the National Action Charter. How can this charter really inspire other nations?
The National Action Charter is really a document of peaceful reform and nations' unity also. The main idea of the National Action Charter is really to make people understand, know what is the reform, democratic reform consisting of, what are we expecting out of that, and also to have a consensus of the people of Bahrain to that. And that's exactly what happened when it went when they overwhelmingly endorsed the National Action Charter by 98.4% of Bahrainis, which really shows their trust in the democratic reform processes which His Majesty was aiming to. And of course, this National Action Charter, with the principles it had, is really a big experience that nations can really refer to and use as a reference when they are really aiming to a peaceful political reform and changes. It's important to have the consensus of the people. It's important to have the unity of the people when applying or when thinking of or aiming to have political reforms and democratic reforms.
Right. When it comes to its effect and its basically contribution to the progress of different fields, we also see that the National Action Charter has significantly contributed to the constant progress of parliamentary and municipal work in the kingdom. Tell us a little bit about that.
Yes, one of the major advancements in the political life through the National Action Charter was really the bicameral system. The thing is that the National Action Charter institutionalized the legislative process and municipal governance by having this bicameral parliamentary system, which means that we have 2 houses, the Shura Council, which is elected by his members are elected by His Majesty the King, and the Council of Representatives or Nawab Council, which is members are selected by direct election of people. And they both houses work together, aiming to have a progressive legislative system. Of course, having a legislative system, two houses or bicameral system, ensures that we have proper checks and balances in place. We have enhanced lawmaking processes, and we also have the public participation in the political life. On the other hand, for municipal governance, the National Action Charter had empowered municipals, giving the people, the citizens, more or greater voice in their local governance. Putting these together really has led to a different environment, a different legislative environment, an enhanced legislative environment, as well as greater participation of people in political life, as well as the feeling of belonging and unity in the society.
Right. You talked about this a little bit, or you triggered on this point. The Shura Council's committees are very, very important and actually are the pillars of legislative work. Can you tell us a little bit about these committees and how is their performance integrated to serve the unified goals you set for yourself?
Yes, of course, the Shura Council operates through specialized committees which focus on several priorities, national priorities, like economic, legislative, social, foreign policies. All these matters are looked through by the committees. For example, we have 8 committees currently in the Shura Council. We have the Legislative and Legal Affairs Committee, the National Security, Defense and Foreign Policy Affairs Committee. We have the Economic and Financial Committee. We have the Services Committee. We have the Environment, Utilities and Environment Committee, Women and Children Committee, Committee for Human Rights, and Committee for the Youth. All these committees, each one has its specialized matters to deal in, and they conduct in-depth studies, review laws, and provide or recommendations for enhanced policy making. And they all work together with their cooperative efforts. They put together, or they align, if you want, the legislative priorities with the Bahrain's development goals, so that we are all working on the same grounds. We are all serving the community, and to make sure that the laws we are working on serve the public good and is on the right track for Bahrain's development.
Absolutely. There's a lot of royal support when it comes to the legislative work. How do you value this royal support in the legislative field?
His Majesty the King has really constantly supported the legislative system progress, and this really reinforces Bahrain's commitment to the democratic reform. The support that we have is really, it explains or really showcases His Majesty's vision to have a democratic system working efficiently in Bahrain. On the other hand, also we have the executive authority by his leadership, His Royal Highness Prince Salman bin Hamad Al Khalifa, the Prime Minister, the Crown Prince and Prime Minister, has always stress the importance of having cooperations between the executive authority as well as the legislative authority, aiming to have a more efficient and progressive legislative measures. So the support that we are really getting from the royal support is something that helps us in our work, positions Bahrain in a well-recognized situation by the international community, other than the local community, and also supports the goals, the development goals, whether economic, social, and legislative developments that Bahrain is aiming for.
Right. So now the legislations have been set, the royal support has been achieved. How do you measure the success of these legislations?
Bahrain has really come a long way with our progressive laws that we've been issuing, and that is recognized also in the international legislative communities. We work with global international parliamentary bodies from the various countries. We've seen that our laws are progressive. They are in line with international covenants. We have some laws that we have been pioneering in issuing them in the region and even internationally. Parliaments do come to us asking for examples of these laws that we have issued and in what cases we have issued, how do we implement these. I mean, the success is evident in the legislative life itself, in the participation of people, in the input from the committees in the Shura Council. All these really show that we are on the right track with the legislative progress, and we are aiming to more success, inshallah.
Inshallah. One of the very important parts that we see a lot of success in and a lot of contribution from, compared to regional and international counterparts, how do you value the representation of Bahraini women at both the Shura and the representative councils? How do you value their contribution to the democratic process?
Women in Bahrain have been participating in the political life, let me say, since early 1930s. As we all know, the Bahraini women were the first in the region to go for the municipal elections. And this has built really the confidence in the people, the sense of right to participate. Of course, during the years and with the support of the Supreme Council for Women, led by Her Royal Highness Prince Sabika bint Ibrahim Al Khalifa, with the initiatives and the programs that the Supreme Council has offered to empower women. We've seen that, for example, in the last elections in 2002, where we had 48% of women vote, and that resulted in the election of 8 women to the Council of Representatives, Nawab Council, and that's a record really. Which again shows the awareness, the willingness to participate, the eagerness to really contribute to the political reform and development that Bahrain is going through. Again, by this 8 female in the council, they comprise 20% of the total members, and with the Shura Council, so the legislative as a whole system, have 23% of females, And this is really the average worldwide percentage. So we are in line with other legislative bodies, if you want. Again, the contribution of women, we can see it everywhere, not only in the legislative system, but we've seen it in the executive authority, where we have lots of ministers, female ministers. We've seen them as in the economic growth that's happening as businesswomen. We've seen them really in each and every field around us in Bahrain, which make us women, Bahraini women, very proud. And this also proves the confidence of the leadership in the women's capability in Bahrain, and how much they can really add to the growth and development of Bahrain.
They really do. Another very strong pointer to accommodate and to talk about right now is when it comes to legislative work. It is work that is for the country, but also might take part outside of the country, and that would be our next point. The international outreach activity and the effective cooperation with either regional, global, Shura councils and democratic institutions and other pillars of the council's work. Tell us about that. How much work is put into that, and why is it?
Bahrain really actively participates in parliamentary diplomacy, if I can say that. It's something important, really, with what's happening now around the world, to really be present in these global forums, parliamentary meetings, to exchange experiences, to tell them about Bahrain's experience, and also to learn from best practices. And honestly, the Shura Council ensures to participate in all these related parliamentary meetings, internationally and regionally. And actually in 2003, March 2023, Bahrain has hosted the 146 IPU, Inter-Parliamentary Union Assembly meetings, where we had around 1,700 participants from various parliaments representing around 140 countries. And that was really a major a conference, if you want, where the participants were really surprised, happy. Until today, they talk about the hospitality and exceptional organization that we were able to show, and the outcomes also of the conference, the meetings. So this positions Bahrain really in a strong position internationally with its diplomacy. It also helps us in the discussions in the international policy making. And honestly speaking, they usually ask for our participation, or they look forward to our participation, because the comments that we give, our interventions are really of major recognition to them.
And importance, definitely. Another thing that both legislative authorities has done a lot is teach the youth and pave the work for the youth of Bahrain and even the region, to know how to apply these rules and these legislations for the future, how it needs to be changed, why it needs to be changed, if it needs to be changed. So tell us a little bit about that. How do you value the awareness of the effective participation in the democratic process and political movement among the people of Bahrain, specifically the youth?
Yes. Of course, one of the fruits of the National Action Charter is really the greater participation of the public which mainly also includes the youth.
Okay.
Today, Bahrain, I think two-thirds of the population are considered from the youth age 35. And this really let us think more of involving them more. There are certain programs, really. For example, the youth parliamentary programs, the political education, the civic involvement. All these are really fields where we are seeing youth excel and shine. And we really feel that they do have the capabilities of taking the lead within the parliaments. Not only parliaments, but even sharing or participating in the political developments. Today, for example, youth have the right to elect from age 20. But we are working on bringing it down to 18. As we really believe that youth are capable and have the right to participate in policy making, which will really affect their life, and also take the responsibility to or be part of the responsibility in shaping the life that they want in the future.
Absolutely. Another thing is in the Kingdom of Bahrain, there's a lot of things that affect not just the citizens of the kingdom, but also the residents of the kingdom. And that is something that Bahrain takes into consideration greatly, because Bahrain's communities are comprised of not just citizens, but also of the residents that have come here and some that have lived here and made a home for, out of Bahrain. In most countries, actually, the right to vote is generally limited to just the citizens of the country. Some countries, however, extend these voting rights to residents, non-citizens. Bahrain is actually one of the democracy supporting countries that allow non-nationals to participate in its municipal elections specifically. What can you tell us about the importance of that, and what are the outcomes that are going to be reached with this process?
Yes, I think this is something really important as part of the reform that we've seen. And this also symbolizes the coexistence that we are talking about, the unity of the people. Yes, having the non-citizens elect in the municipal elections really shows the diversity of our society, and also the unity at the same time. It really shows Bahrain's recognition to their input in our communities, in our society. It really recognizes them as part of the country, but not foreigners. All this really, again, showcases Bahrain's interfaith tolerance, dialogues, the coexistence that we are always saying that Bahrain does live it on the ground, really. And it's also, at the same time, non-citizens will have the sense of belonging to the country. It serves both ways, in my opinion, really, because it's really. It's not that we just say that we have coexistence and social unity, but it also shows it as a practice. And people, when they come to Bahrain, visitors, and experience this, they really appreciate it. And they really feel that they belong to this country, even though they are not nationals.
That's really accurate, because over the years we've worked in several international events where we already see the recognition from international entities about Bahrain's coexistence, its tolerance, its interfaith dialogue, how the people of Bahrain have been living like this for hundreds of years, for ages. It's been a very long tradition and concept in the kingdom. How do you value this kind of regional and international recognition of the Kingdom of Bahrain's achievements, specifically in the legislative field, who set the paveway for this?
Of course, as we said, Bahrain has always lived these principles of coexistence, interfaith dialogue. I mean, Bahrain has hosted lots of these conferences for dialogue, interfaith dialogues. The people do feel that the peacefulness of the Bahrain society, the acceptance, the willingness to deal with others, to work with others, all these principles, really, all these social commitments have really positioned Bahrain in a special international place where it's been together put that Bahrain have this coexistence and interfaith dialogue and tolerance. From the legislative point of view, of course, we've always made sure that legislations do reflect these principles. No discrimination, no unfairness in laying the articles, and of course it reflects on the day-to-day development that we see in our legislative progresses. Again, it's the social affairs that we're looking for, the social development, economic development, and as well as the democracy reforms that all together work together to serve the Bahrain's development goals.
Definitely. Bahrain's legislative field has also sort of made the template of how to follow and achieve the same beautiful achievements that the kingdom has made and progressed in. How can Bahrain's initiatives and stories of success in political, democratic, coexistence, everything that you've just mentioned, tolerance and human rights field inspire other countries?
Okay, the beauty about our system is the peaceful and progressive reform process. It's a democracy that is it's being achieved by steps and stages. We are not rushing, we are learning as we go, we are achieving a lot. And this is something really important. People or other nations should be taking Bahrain's experience as a model to work on, where you have the leadership and the people work together to have a stronger institutional democracy. You have the unity of the people. You have their trust in the system, in the democratic reforms, and in the leadership, of course. The successes that we've achieved in the legislative system, in the empowerment of women, in the participation of youth, in the greater participation of the community itself in the political life and the civil life, the economic growth, all these really are examples that nations can really refer to and take as examples when they go through transitions, reform transitions or political transitions.
Yes, I mean, you hit it on the point by saying how these initiatives are easy and they follow through. The harmony and how these steps come after each other and how there's a solution for each and every problem, and there's always a result with every single thing that is put is something that gives the citizens and the residents also that faith in how much it is working and how much it is a success. The Kingdom of Bahrain believes actually that the democracy and development are twin pillars of national prosperity.
Yes.
What can you tell us about Bahrain's experience in this regard before we let you go today?
Yes, of course, development and democracy are the two pillars, our main pillars, if I can say, and we believe that they go hand by hand. Both processes are important, and both processes depend a lot. Depend on how much we enforce them to go ahead with our development. Again, development and democracy are two main things that we look through or we look at when we are discussing any legislative processes. They help us really to build a stronger society, a stronger economic growth or steady economic growth, stable prosperity for the nation of Bahrain, the people of Bahrain. It helps us also to achieve the goals that we are looking for. Again, at the end, the main idea is to have the citizens' prosperity, the welfare of the people, making sure that we are on the right track, and having the balance between development and the democracy reforms together does really achieve what we are looking for out of this main National Action Charter, which is our main reference to our political reform.
Thank you so much, Ms. Hala Ramzi, for being with us today, Your Excellency, and for answering all of our questions. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Our coverage continues with more right after this short break. Welcome back. Bahraini women's advanced achievements and vital contribution to the comprehensive progress march in the kingdom have been consolidated on various aspects. The National Action Charter is considered one of the main factors behind Bahraini women's success and contribution to the development march. It gave Bahraini women essential opportunities to perform leading roles in major professions. The establishment of the Supreme Council for Women under the leadership of the Kingdom of Bahrain's First Lady, the wife of His Majesty the King and chairwoman of the Supreme Council for Women, Her Royal Highness Princess Sabika bint Ibrahim Al Khalifa, is considered a milestone in the field of women's work, building on the accumulated experience in civil women's activity for many decades. More in this report.
The achievements of Bahraini women reached their peak with the issuance of the National Action Charter. The formation of the committee to prepare the charter included 6 Bahraini women, and the percentage of women voting on the charter was 49% of the total participants in this historic referendum. The National Action Charter, which came as a result of a royal will and unanimously agreed upon by the people of Bahrain, contributed to the advancement of Bahraini women and making many achievements and gains. On August 22, 2001, a few months following the vote on the Charter, the Supreme Council for Women was established, which follows His Majesty the King and is headed by Her Royal Highness the wife of His Majesty the King. From the date of its establishment to the present day, the Council made many achievements for Bahraini women in various fields. The National Action Charter also strengthened the rights of Bahraini women and made them an essential partner in the development process through a number of principles and values which guaranteed women equality, justice, and equal opportunities, and contributed significantly to supporting them and accelerating their advancement until they became a role model in the Arab region and the world.
Welcome back. Since its establishment in 2015, Bahrain Tourism and Exhibitions Authority (BTEA) has been working on regulating and promoting all national tourism affairs in the Kingdom of Bahrain with the aim of increasing the tourism sector's contribution to the national economy. Throughout the previous year, the Bahrain Tourism and Exhibitions Authority organized a number of events that targeted all segments of the Bahraini community as well as the Kingdom's visitors and tourists, which witnessed huge success.
Good afternoon. Thank you for having me. Of course, the comprehensive development path led by His Majesty King Hamad bin Isa Al Khalifa has resulted in exceptional achievements that have enhanced Bahrain's position both regionally and internationally across all sectors. We proudly recently announced the launch of Sama Bay as one of the modern strategic projects aimed at enhancing family tourism, providing different outdoor sports and entertainment activities, making it an ideal destination for citizens, residents, and visitors. The opening of more tourist attractions, hotels, and hospitality facilities has contributed to increasing the number of visitors and tourists, recording an increase in tourist numbers since the launch of the tourism strategy in 2022. Initiatives like the Bahrain Food Festival, Celebrate Bahrain Season, and Bahrain Summer Festival not only promote local culture, but also attract global audiences, providing tourists and foreign investors with the opportunity to engage with the kingdom's dynamic cultural scene. Exhibition World Bahrain, one of the largest exhibition and convention centers in the region, hosted prestigious global events for the first time, not only in Bahrain but also in the Middle East. The venue has successfully secured international events for the next 4 years. Beyond Al Dana Amphitheatre has become a landmark in Bahrain's entertainment industry and has hosted numerous numbers of international artists. Of course, let's not forget the Formula One. The Bahrain Grand Prix continues to contribute to Bahrain's tourism, reinforcing its status as a leading sports tourism destination. Last year, Bahrain hosted a multitude of prestigious sports events and re-owned international championships, such as the FIBA 3x3 Manama Masters, Bahrain Darts Masters, the DP World Golf Tour, ISF Bahrain, and others, which highlight the kingdom's tourism initiatives and capabilities on a global scale, placing Bahrain at the forefront of the region's fastest growing tourism sectors. Bahrain has also witnessed a significant boom in the wedding sector over the past 7 years, with more than 107 weddings hosted between 2017 and 2024, attracting over 40,000 international guests. The government's vision for the development of the tourism sector, led by His Royal Highness Prince Salman bin Hamad Al Khalifa, the Crown Prince and Prime Minister, has emerged as one of the key pillars for diversifying the national economy and enhancing the kingdoms through flexible legislation and major projects. As embodied in Bahrain's Economic Vision 2030, this has firmly established Bahrain as a leading tourism hub in the region. One of the key developments in Bahrain's tourism sector is that the private sector has become the operator of tourism projects. This has provided the private sector with significant opportunities to establish major projects, which have greatly contributed to creating quality jobs for national talent and increasing tourism revenues. The kingdom has made a name for itself as a global tourism hub, attracting visitors from around the world. This is reflected in numbers of awards received by Bahrain, such as the designation of Manama as the capital of Gulf tourism for the year 2024. Bahrain's efforts to develop its tourism infrastructure and improve services have paid off, with visitors praising the exceptional experiences offered by Bahrain's hotels, resorts, and tourist facilities. The kingdom's rich history and cultural heritage, including its 3 UNESCO World Heritage Sites, also attract visitors from around the world. This international recognition of the Bahrain's accomplishments in tourism and the MICE industry reflects the kingdom's hard work and commitment to developing its tourism sector. Such recognition is expected to boost visitor numbers and economic growth, further solidifying Bahrain's position as a major tourist destination in the region. For sure, it does look very promising. Several factors indicate that the tourism sector will play an increasingly vital role in Bahrain's national growth. Initiatives such as the Tourism Strategy 2022-2026 highlight the importance of tourism to Bahrain's broader vision and economic goals, and the continued development of infrastructure will enhance the visitor experience and encourage further investment. The wide range of tourism experiences in Bahrain, from cultural and historical sites to modern entertainment, sports events like Formula One and world-class exhibitions, helps the kingdom appeal to broader audience. This will attract different segments of tourists, including leisure travelers, business visitors, and those interested in niche sectors like gastronomy tourism, which is gaining ground globally. Bahrain's approach of partnering with the private sector has been a game changer. The private sector, especially in the development of large-scale projects, luxury resorts, and entertainment venues, will continue to contribute significantly. The successful collaboration between public and private sectors will likely inspire more sustainable tourism development and attract international visitors and investors. Thanks to the advanced infrastructure and the launch of more high-quality tourism projects in various regions across the kingdom, we are making steady progress in 2025 towards achieving more tourism milestones while surpassing performance measurement standard. This progress will benefit the economy and tourism sector, support key economic industries, and create more valuable job opportunities for our young Bahrainis. BTA today, in cooperation with its partners in the private sector, will continue to maximize tourism gains by launching more initiatives, projects, and festivals that will have the greatest impact in consolidating the kingdom's position as a tourist attraction for all nationalities. In the current year of 2025, we can expect to see additional hotel establishments and re-owned international hospitality institutions. This will enhance the kingdom's already advanced tourism infrastructure and help attract a greater number of tourists, including both individuals and families. We're also focusing on enhancing our strategic partnership with Gulf Air Holding Group to offer a comprehensive tourism experience for all our visitors. Thank you very much.
Welcome back. The healthcare sector in the Kingdom of Bahrain continues to witness constant development and progress on various aspects through its several entities. The National Health Regulatory Authority is one of those leading institutions that works on providing safe, trusted, high-quality healthcare to all members of the Bahraini society as it regulates the healthcare system to ensure providing best services in line with international standards of efficiency and effectiveness. To know more about NHRA's role and achievements, we are pleased to be joined here in the studio by the Director of the CEO's Office at the National Health Regulatory Authority, Ms. Sofia Adel. Thank you very much for being with us today.
Thank you for having me, and on such a special occasion.
Definitely a special occasion, and NHRA has been a very big part of it since its establishment in 2010. Actually, the National Health Regulatory Authority has been a leading entity specifically in the healthcare sector in the kingdom. Can you tell us about the idea of NHRA's establishment as well? What are its main vision, its missions, and its values?
Firstly, I'd like to congratulate His Majesty the King and His Royal Highness the Crown Prince and Prime Minister and the population of Bahrain on this occasion. Going back to your question, as you mentioned, NHRA was established in 2010 with its key goal being to ensure healthcare quality, proper healthcare quality is provided for all in the Kingdom of Bahrain, whether it be citizens, residents or visitors. As you mentioned, the NHRA was established in 2010 and as part of the government's initiatives and commitments to providing proper high standard healthcare for all in the Kingdom of Bahrain, be it citizens, residents or visitors. Our vision at the NHRA is to become a leading health regulatory authority in ensuring high quality care is provided for all. Our mission is to regulate the healthcare processes through our policies, our processes at the NHRA, as well as our accreditation standards. Our core values would be integrity, efficiency, patient safety, and transparency with the general public.
Definitely. The NHRA actually consists of a lot of departments that do a lot of different works. What can you tell us about the structure of the NHRA as well as services provided by all of these various departments?
Actually, the NHRA has a very well structured framework with various sections that their main goal is basically to ensure high quality of healthcare is provided. We have the licensing of healthcare professionals and the licensing of healthcare facilities, as well as the regulation sections, that would be the medical device regulation and the pharmacy and pharmaceutical products regulation section. These two sections specifically work on ensuring safe products are brought into the country through importation and registration. So safe pharmaceutical products being medications and medical devices as well. We have the accreditation section, we have the investment section, as well as the medical complaints section, where we receive complaints from the general public, from hospitals, from patients and their families as well.
Right. Every year, Bahrain proudly celebrates these various achievements and steady integrated developments that have emanated from His Majesty the King's Reform Project and the National Action Charter. Can you tell us how the NHRA's recent achievements add to this?
So in the past few years, the NHRA have achieved remarkable milestones, some of which being the development of our processes digitally, as well as, so we started with some of the processes at the NHRA, and we're looking forward to implementing the rest in the near future. We have also streamlined and reduced our timelines, so we worked on reducing the timelines of importation and registration of pharmaceutical products, as well as medical devices, and we have plans set in place for the other departments in the near future, inshallah. We are also looking at strengthening our collaboration with international and regional authorities. As a matter of fact, we had hosted during the third quarter of 2024 the first Arab Health Authorities Forum in the Kingdom of Bahrain, where we invited different regulatory authorities to visit us for a roundtable discussion, where we exchanged knowledge and looked at future plans for the regulatory authorities in the Arab countries.
That's great. And all of this is possible with the progress that has been made at the NHRA and all of the added value when it comes to the medication, the safety prospects for the patients, and even for healthcare workers themselves, the standards that are set make it safe to perform one's duties. And all of this was possible because of the great support that the NHRA gets, that is provided by the Bahraini government to facilitate and develop the healthcare sector. Tell us a little bit about that support.
Actually, the support that we've received from His Majesty the King and His Royal Highness the Crown Prince and Prime Minister has been a crucial part of the success of the healthcare the program in the healthcare sector in the Kingdom of Bahrain. Their commitment to investing in healthcare infrastructure has been crucial in this success as well. The government's support has enabled us to implement innovative programs at the NHRA, and the government has really aided us in basically a lot of different innovative ideas that we've had, and to progress and ensure high quality care in the kingdom.
Yeah. And we're going to see even more of them, but before that, we're celebrating the National Action Charter today and its achievements. How did the National Action Charter contribute to the constant progress of the healthcare sector in the kingdom?
The National Action Charter has served as a blueprint for all sectors of the Kingdom of Bahrain, not just the healthcare sector, but for the healthcare sector. The Article 8 of the Constitution specifically says every citizen is entitled to healthcare, and at NHRA we have used this as our baseline and pillar to ensure quality healthcare is provided for all, and high quality of that is provided as well.
Absolutely. The achievements of the healthcare sector in Bahrain has also made it gain a lot of international recognition. This was before COVID and before everything actually happened. The healthcare sector has always been a part of the global progress in the healthcare. How do you value this kind of international recognition towards Bahrain's accomplishment in all of the parts of the healthcare sector?
So Bahrain has, as you said, Bahrain has always been highly recognized in the healthcare sector. I think COVID-19 is the great example of the international recognition that Bahrain has gotten. The fast pace of how the protocols were changed, how the government offered free vaccines for everybody, whether you're a citizen, a resident, a visitor even, the vast campaigns we had for testing and so on. I think COVID-19 was a perfect example of how our healthcare services are
recognized internationally.
Yes.
Yeah, when we look at that kind of recognition, it really gives that augmentation to how much work is put in by the NHRA to really support healthcare workers, healthcare systems, as well as the citizens in getting that kind of healthcare. After years of dedicated efforts, how does the NHRA assess their success? And what are the procedures taking to ensure that this success is constant, that it's sustainable, and that in the future it will actually get even better?
Yeah. So at the NHRA, we continuously evaluate our successes. We do that through several different ways. So we have our KPIs, our key performance indicators, as well as our strategic plan that we revise and look into on a regular basis. We have the international accreditations that we have obtained, as well as regular meetings with our stakeholders. So during our regular meetings with the stakeholders, we take feedback from them on what is working for them, what's not working with them, and how we could improve that, as well as any future recommendations that they have. We're committed to investing in the workforce in the Kingdom of Bahrain, as well as the advancements of technology and ensuring high quality healthcare is provided continuously.
Definitely. Thank you so much, Ms. Sofia Adel, the Director of the CEO's office at the NHRA, for being with us and for answering our questions on that.
Thank you very much for having me.
The National Health Regulatory Authority has succeeded in attaining numerous achievements during the previous years as part of their tremendous efforts to achieve comprehensive development of healthcare services in the kingdom in accordance with the highest quality and excellent standards. Stay tuned, we will be back for more right after this. Welcome back. One of the main pillars of His Majesty King Hamad bin Isa Al Khalifa's comprehensive reform project and National Action Charter is preserving the press freedom, which reflects Bahrain's firm dedication towards ensuring all freedoms, including that of opinion and expression. Journalists, media professionals, and intellectuals have great ambitions and vital roles in advancing national development and prosperity by closely monitoring local, Arab, and global concerns and offering constructive critique. On the basis of the National Action Charter and the law of the press and publishing, the journalism and media fields witness various leading initiatives along with remarkable accomplishments.
Hello, in the beginning, I would like to take this opportunity to thank Bahrain Television for hosting me and congratulate His Majesty King Hamad bin Isa Al Khalifa, the King of the Kingdom of Bahrain, and His Royal Highness Prince Salman bin Hamad Al Khalifa, Crown Prince and Prime Minister of the Kingdom of Bahrain, and the people of Bahrain on this auspicious occasion, the National Action Charter Day. February 14, 2001 marks the day that every Bahraini should be proud of. It is a day that remains vivid in our collective memory. It is the day when Bahraini people came together and overwhelmingly voted in favor of this historic accomplishment. The National Action Charter ushered a new era of political, social, and economic reform, all guided by the enlightened vision of His Majesty the King and His Royal Highness the Crown Prince Prime Minister. One of the Charter's most defining achievements is the protection and promotion of press and media freedoms. His Majesty's leadership has ensured that Bahrain remains a regional leader in media openness, allowing a pluralistic press to thrive within a responsible framework. His vision recognizes that a strong and independent media is essential for national progress, fostering public discourse, transparency, and accountability. Over the years, Bahrain has introduced reforms that safeguard journalists, encouraging responsible reporting and promoting digital transformation in media. Under the guidance of His Royal Highness the Crown Prince Prime Minister, Bahrain has also embraced new media technologies, ensuring that the information is widely accessible and that press freedoms extend across traditional and digital platforms. Beyond media freedoms, the National Action Charter has been a cornerstone for broader national advancements, reinforcing human rights, economic development, and social unity. It has empowered Bahrainis to actively participate in shaping their nation's future, while preserving their identity and values. Today, we celebrate this historic occasion. We recognize the far-reaching impact of the Charter and the continued leadership of His Majesty the King and His Royal Highness the Crown Prince and Prime Minister in driving Bahrain towards a future of progress, openness, and prosperity. The Bahraini press is not only one of the most active and vibrant in the region, but has also earned a strong presence on the global stage. Throughout Bahrain's history, the press has played a pivotal role in documenting and preserving the nation's achievements, serving as an essential bridge between leadership and the people. A free and responsible press is fundamental to any thriving society. In Bahrain, the press has been instrumental in informing the public, shaping public opinion, and fostering national dialogue. It ensures that citizens are equipped with the knowledge they need to make informed decisions that impact their daily lives, whether in politics, economics, education, or social affairs. Beyond reporting the news, the Bahraini press actively contributes to national development in several key ways, whether it's in promoting economic growth, championing social progress, enhancing national identity and unity, encouraging civil society engagement. In Bahrain, we see ourselves in the media as not merely an observer or reporter, but as an active partner, working alongside with the government, the private sector, and society to drive progress, inform the public, and uphold the principles of truth and integrity. As Bahrain continues its journey of development and innovation, the press remains at the heart of this progress, adapting to new challenges and embracing digital transformation to reach a broader audience while maintaining the core values of responsible journalism.
And we are sure that the Bahraini press will continue its constant growth and maintain its leading role and contribution to the national comprehensive development.
البحرين تزخر بالهمم قادها المنصور مصباح القيم قادها نحو العلا في فترة بقياس الوقت مرت كالسهم إنها البحرين تزخر بالهمم قادها المنصور مصباح القيم قادها نحو العلا في فترة بقياس الوقت مرت كالسهم. وتلاقى شرقها في غربها فرح يشدو على حلو النغم، سورها ميثاقها دستورها لامع عنوانها بين الأمم. وتلاقى شرقها في غربها فرح يشدو على حلو النغم، سورها ميثاقها دستورها لامع عنوانها بين الأمم. إنها البحرين تزخر بالهمم، إنها البحرين قادها المنصور مصباح القيم، قادها نحو العلا في فترة بقياس الوقت مرت كالسهم. وحدة الشعب على ميثاقه صرخة دوت بها عالي القمم، يا بلادي أبشري واستبشري بملك همه الخير العمم. وحدة الشعب على ميثاقه صرخة دوت بها عالي القمم، يا بلادي أبشري واستبشري بملك همه الخير العمم. إنها البحرين تزخر بالهمم، بالهمم قادها المنصور مصباح القيم، قادها نحو العلا في فترة بقياس الوقت مرت كالسهم. إنها البحرين تزخر بالهمم، قادها المنصور مصباح القيم، قادها نحو العلا في فترة بقياس الوقت مرت كالسهم. إنها البحرين تزخر بالهمم، قادها المنصور مصباح القيم، قادها نحو العلا في فترة بقياس الوقت مرت كالسهم. إنها البحرين تزخر بالهمم، إنها البحرين قادها المنصور مصباح القيم، قادها نحو العلا في فترة بقياس الوقت مرت كالسهم.
This brings us to the end of this special coverage. As we are all celebrating the 24th anniversary of the National Action Charter, the outstanding social, political and economic document, with great pride and enthusiasm. The anniversary of the National Action Charter is another auspicious occasion for the people of Bahrain to reaffirm their unwavering patriotism and love for their nation. It is a major turning point in the modern history of Bahrain, and it is a beacon that keeps illuminating our path towards the bright future. Thank you for watching us, and goodbye.